Welcome back to the Leadership Lab, the series where we explore leadership, evolution, and resilience in business and life, and how today's top thinkers help people grow. Today, we're excited to welcome Mantin, founder of Success Spectrum, transformational coach, author, and keynote speaker. Mantin empowers leaders and families to transform adversity like into impact. Mantin, welcome.
Thank you, Joseph, to having me here. It's my honor. So I'm Mantin. So I was working in the gaming industry for a long time, for more than 2 decades. I was senior executive. I built team, I built studio, managed them. And when I was young, I felt like I was pretty successful, building tons of games, building some studios, and have a success career. I have a beautiful wife. When we have the first baby boy, I felt like I'm kind of on the top of the world. I have everything I want. But my everything changed when my son diagnosed with autism. I felt like, before that, I felt like I can control everything. But my son is something I couldn't control. And it basically broke my entire world because my belief, my ego, everything's come crashing down. So from that forward, actually, I did the worst thing possible. I escaped from my responsibility as a dad. I escaped from my responsibility in the family. I basically just buried myself in work. I worked longer hours, took more business trips, just avoid anything to face in the home. So I thought make more money, more success can fix everything. But of course, we all know that. So it was a lot of guilt, a lot of regret during this journey. Up to a point, I found out I have to change. And during this process, because of my personal challenge and also my experience building teams, managing studios, it actually led me to a framework. I found out actually there's a framework we can use to overcome any of the challenge. And I start using it on almost everything. And long story short, a few years ago, right now it's like since maybe 2020, I want to do something more meaningful. And I switched to many different things. I tried startups, I joined nonprofits, and I joined a faith-based company working on games that have meaning. We said we have God's truth in the game. After all, yeah, it's very interesting, but I can tell you, don't try to look for which company I was working on on LinkedIn. It was the worst company I ever worked with. Anyway, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Anyway, I found out I really want to serve the autistic community. So I start to speaking, I start sharing my story, and I found out when I share my story, I help people. People feel like they have hope. And the funny thing was, it's not necessary to be people in the same situation or similar situations with an autistic kid. No, I remember during my TEDx speech, it was an in-person event. After I share my story, a lady came to me, thanked me for sharing my story. She said, "Hey, what you said, you gave me hope to move forward." So my instinct was, I asked, "You have an autistic kid?" Oh, but she said, the situation even is not similar, but because your situation, you move forward, I gave her the permission to dream big, have hope to move forward. After that, actually, I'm more engaged in speaking, share more, and then I also get into coaching. When I start coaching, at the most beginning, I was helping parents with autistic children. Basically, it's like follow my own journey, how I get out of it and how I fulfillment and joy during my journey. I'm helping those parents to do the same. The funniest thing was at the most beginning, I told those parents, I said, I'm not going to work with your kid, those autistic individual, because I'm not sure. I think you are not a parent yet. If you're a parent, working with kid is very challenging. And working with neurodivergent kid is even more challenge. But then I tried. One parent asked me, hey, if you want to try it out. And of course, I tried and I love it. Because when I was working with the parents, he said, having me as their coach is one of the best things that have ever happened to them. You can imagine I was very happy when I heard about that. But when a kid told me, wow, now I have more confidence. I felt more in control with my triggers. I make new friends. I felt like I'm more socialized. All these things make me even more fulfilled in a next level. So I start working with autistic kid, and recently I expand to even working with, we said, neurotypical kid or gifted kid, because I found out actually everyone, no matter you have those diagnosed or not, the thing is, autism is a spectrum. ADHD is actually also a spectrum. You might met a lot of people, they said, oh, maybe I have a little bit of ADHD, I have some kind of that traits. Kind of my conclusion is everyone suffering some of those elements. So that's why I expand my services. I'm helping more people because they're struggling with different things. I have gifted kid, you think, oh, they're gift, maybe they're very easy, things are very easy, their life would be good. Frankly, it's not. The truth is, they found our world is boring. They just want to sleep all the time, and there's nothing driving them to wake up in the morning. If you think about that, it's pretty
Yeah.
sad. So I want to help them because they have so much talent, but if they waste the talent, they just sleeping all the day, it's not going to help the society. And they're just taking the resources from the society. So instead of that, if I can help them, they can contribute to our society. That's the ripple effect I want to have. So that's why I'm doing this and I'm having fun. I have a lot of fulfillment and joy during this process, and I'm loving it right now. So, yep, that's kind of
Thank
my backstory.
thank you so much for sharing this story. It's really insightful and helpful for people out there. So, like, what exactly does Success Spectrum do? Like, who are the people or communities you help the most right now?
Right now, I have the most is kid. When
Okay.
I say kid, actually my clients range is from 11 to 18. So there's kids and teenagers as well. I actually have more kid as client than parents. But you can imagine I have a Facebook group. In that group, I have parents more than kid, of course. So the things make my business kind of, but I know a lot of people facing the same challenge of the same situation is my client are the kids, but the one pay for me are the parents.
Sure. I see. So, like, you emphasize the importance of slaying hidden dragons. What does
Yeah.
that mean? And why do leaders often overlook those inner challenges?
Oh, yes. So I talk about a framework. I inspired by my personal challenge and also my work in the gaming industry is Slay the Dragon.
Okay.
So let me talk about that framework very quickly. Slay the Dragon, slay, SLAY. They're the four essential elements that must be present in order to achieve a great victory. S, spot the dragon. So that's to answer your question. A lot of time when we see a challenge, we just see the challenge in front of us. But most of the time, the most difficult thing is the dragon within. Let's say our company, we have a very low retention rate.
Yeah.
Is that because the business is not good, the work is not attractive enough, the benefits issue? No, most of the time it's not. Most of the time, maybe it's the manager is not good. A lot of time people leave the company is not because the job, it's the manager. So we have to find out the root cause. We have to kind of go deeper. And that root cause is the internal dragon I talk about. And it's a lot of different kind of situations. Like sometimes we don't want to do something. It's not because we don't have the drive, or not because that thing is difficult. It's because maybe we feel shame doing that kind of things. Or maybe we feel like we are fear of judgment. If we do that, how people will think about me, things like that. So that's the internal dragon we have to deal with.
I
After
agree
S
with
is,
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I do agree with you. Like that actually challenge a lot of people just to do whatever they want to do. Like it holds them back a lot of time.
Yes, yes, yes. And we as a human, a lot of time we really got held back by all that kind of internal dragons, internal challenge. So
Mhm.
yeah, let me finish my framework. The second element is L, level up your gears. And I found out, a lot of time when we want to do something, of course, we have to level up our skills, we have to level up our knowledge. But some of the time, the most important things to level up is our mindset, because the mindset is kind of defined us. If we feel like we have limiting belief, we think, "Oh, we are not good enough to do this or do that." No matter how good you are, you still feel like you're not enough. And you have to get out of this challenge, this boundary. That's the mindset shift you need. So, and that's the things I help my clients the most. When I'm working with the kid, I have to help them really to get rid of those fear. For example, when we want to make new friends, sometimes is it just like because I'm shy? No, because they're not able to speak up. They don't want to
Yeah.
initiate the conversation because they don't know how people think of them, how people judge them if they say something wrong, things like that. So that's the mindset. And the third element is assemble your team. A lot of time, people just want to overcome their challenge by themselves. But we don't have to do this. Actually, we can have a team to help you. How to say it's like, we can have a mentor or a coach for guidance. We can, for some of the things, we need an expert to give us the specific opinions. And we need our friends, our families to really support us along our journey. So if you think about you just want to walk it alone, you want to do everything by yourself, it is not going to be good. You will feel tired along the way. And the last element, why for yearn for victory, is actually the most fundamental element. It drives all the others because we need a purpose. Simon Sinek talk about that. Why is really important because we are not going to overcome a challenge just for the sake of it. We do it for burning reason. For example, let me talk about parenting.
Yeah.
Or even parenting in autistic children. A lot of time we are doing things really repetitive. We're doing the same thing every single day because our kids learn more slowly and we just keep teaching the same thing or keep doing the same thing every single day. If you don't have a purpose, if you're not looking for a future, you will feel like you're just doing chores.
Right.
Even in your business, it's the same. Not every part of the business is exciting. For some people, the excitement is like really execute a plan, a new project. Some people they might be talking about the business. Some people is in the negotiation process. Not every part of the business you feel excited. So if you are not excited for those things, you will just feel like you are doing chores. But if you know your purpose, you know your destination, where you're going, you know what you want to do with your kid. When you're doing those chores, even it's repetitive, every time you do it, you know that you're one step ahead, one step forward, achieving your purpose, achieving the destination. So that's why yearning is that important. So this framework, I believe, and I also witness that it can really help people to overcome challenges, including myself. So yeah.
Thank you so
I
much.
know you asked me just how to spot the
Yeah,
internal
yeah,
Jacob, but
but yeah,
okay.
that's really helpful just to share. Thank you so much for your honesty sharing that. I would love to know like how even like you handle this with the parents themselves. Yeah, exactly.
So
The process itself.
yep, that's how I do it. No matter I'm helping autistic kid or so. First of all, when I said I'm helping autistic kid, they are on the more high function on the spectrum because right now coaching most of the time I'm using Zoom. If they're not able to sit down and have a conversations, that's thankfully I cannot help. But after that, if I can help them, no matter they are autistic, they're neurotypical, or they are ADHD, or they're gifted kid, or whatever it is. My process is, of course, I will work with the parents first to understand this step. When I onboard a new client, I understand the situation, what they are what's the issue. But the thing is, I make it very clear. I'm not fixing your kid because no matter what diagnosis they have or they don't have, they are not really have a problem to fix. Because I believe everyone, literally everyone, they have the potential to overcome their biggest challenge. They have the potential to achieve their goal. So as a coach, my work is to bring this potential out from their body so that they can achieve it. So I'm not fixing anything, but I have to understand the situation, understand the kid, the challenge, and then I work with the kid directly. So my typical coaching is I will have 1 or 2 coaching sessions with the kid based on their challenge, their level, and the stage of their life.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is I provide daily accountability, daily check-in. That's how I say it, daily check-in accountability. Because, by just 1 or 2 coaching calls is not enough. Yes, I can tell you some mindset shift. Maybe you have some breakthrough during the coaching section,
Yeah.
but it's not going to stick. What makes it stick is the daily check-in accountability. For example, if I ask the kids to do something, they promise me to do something, I have
You
to
need
make
to
sure
check
they
on
really,
them to make sure. Yeah.
yes. So that daily check-in actually is not that long, maybe 5 minutes to sometimes 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
that is most important thing to make the habit shift stick. And also I will work with the parent. What I mean is I will let them know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it that way.
I see.
because I don't want to have conflict with the parents. Because one thing is, I also found out it's difficult for the parents to work with their kid. I should say it that way. It's difficult for parents to teach their kid. The best
Yeah.
way for parents to teach their kid is basically they just be a good parent, be a good role model. But if you just keep saying the same thing like, hey, you have to do this, and that. You have to
You have
stop
to
doing
show
this.
them, not just, that kind of advice. It's not going to work for kids. They have to see
Yes,
a real role model that they
yes,
can literally implement everything they see. By the way,
yes.
I have my own like 3 years, so I know how it works, literally imitating everything I'm doing.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
like this age is also crazy.
Yeah. But that's all the time, If you're three
Yeah,
years old, you have a long way to go. But
yeah,
the thing is, as parents, we don't want to see them fail. And that's the reason why it's difficult for us to really help them, to teach them.
right,
Because you don't want to see them fail. You charm in, you kind of enforce some rules, you try
right.
to stop them doing things, you try to ask them to doing things. And when you're saying that's too many times, you
Mhm.
basically it become no effect. And also the worst thing is the relationship between the parent and the kids getting far apart.
Yeah.
Parents becomes the manager, not the parent anymore. Or the worst case really becomes enemy. It's very extreme, but that could
Yeah,
happen.
I agree
So
with you. Some
yeah,
teenagers specifically would look at it that way. Yeah,
yeah.
especially that age.
So my work is number one, help the kids so I help them executive functioning.
Yeah.
So help them how to manage their life, how to get better planning, initiate work, and get better time management, all that kind of things, and emotional control. But I think th that's important. But actually, for me, I think another thing is very important is I want their parents can become the parents again. I want the relationship can get back to that fundamental parents and kid relationship. So sometimes in my coaching, yes, I'm coaching the kid, but at the same time, I'm coaching the
You're
parent
coaching
as
the
well.
parents as well.
Yeah,
Like
so
it
I would
affects
tell the
both of
parent,
them.
I sometimes would tell them, okay, that happens. They told me something happened, and I gave them the strategy, what they have to do, and what I'm going to do with the kid, and I would tell them they should stop doing this, and that. Yeah, and the reward to me is really not just money. I can tell you if I'm working for money, I just go back to the gaming industry. The money wise is much better. But doing that, the reward is really seeing the relationship getting better, the kids getting more independent and seeing things they move toward a better situation is what I really fulfillment, enjoy.
How
So
long, like, do you think the process would take you with coaching with those kids? Like, how to that you could actually leave a real impact?
the quickest one I saw is really just like two coaching call. I can see the kid can have obvious improvement. But the thing we have to it will go back. If you
Right.
just stop after two coaching call, even 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So that's why how I say it. 3 months, you should be able to see very obvious improvement. 6 months, things kind of stick. But the better is really have a long-term relationship. So I'm talking all those things. I'm doing this thing is not that long ago. I started doing coaching
Mhm.
is the beginning of 2025. And so, if you think about it, it's not that long. But I have kids following me more than almost a year now. Just just a year for now, right now. So I I really see their improvement, and every time, I can tell you, every time after the coaching call,
Okay.
I feel energized because I seeing their improvement. They become more mature. What they said, what they told me actually energized me. Yeah. So go back to your questions. Yeah, we can see change very quickly. But if you want them to stick, it's a long-term process. If you think about it for 15 years old, they get into today because the past 15 years. If you want a quick fix, if you think 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or even half years can fix everything, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah, data-driven development models that we see nowadays.
Can you define what
Yeah,
exactly that means?
like right now, We can say the AI actually like going in a lot of things, and you could see like even with kids, like it could help in a lot of things. When it comes to AI, like in this part, how do you see it could actually engage in that?
I think if it's data driven, I feel like it might be very helpful in a coaching business is how we can get clients, how can help us land our message to the right audience. I'm not using it a lot myself. Like I said, I just start doing this for a year. But I can see that would be helpful. And maybe that's the next step I have to look at is how to scale my business, even have more influence because in 2026, actually, I set my goal is to directly influence 200 families.
Okay.
And at
How
the
many
time, I was
families did
speak.
you handle until now?
I think it's more 20 some 20. So it is achievable. I can see it's achievable, but I now I'm already thinking because my coaching is one-on-one, highly customized for
Yes,
each one.
for them.
And every day I think about how to do the daily check-in accountability to make sure things stick. I don't think I can do. I just doing this for a year.
Yourself,
I didn't think about.
I asked them like, do you see technology nowadays like plays a role? How coaching programs for kids and delivered?
Do you have any idea?
I see like coaching one-on-one, but like nowadays what we could see, like how technology would affect those kids, whether positive and negative.
It's difficult to say client. So, when they are my client because they have something their parents think they need to fix, right? Again, as much as I don't want to say I'm fixing them and they're not really have problem, but for the parents, they comes to me because there's something they think they need to fix. And one of the big thing is the screen time. And not just screen time, they spend a lot of time playing games, just watching YouTube. And sometimes for parents, they don't have a clear picture what exactly the kid is doing. And sometimes kid because they not because they are a bad person and they lied, but just because they're so tempting, they want to play the games or do the things on the iPad or computer. They didn't tell the truth. They may say, "Oh, I'm doing homework," but actually behind the scenes they
Yeah,
are
they start
doing
lying and hiding this thing that they're doing.
yeah. So that's the hard truth. But I also, of course, I see now AI, the net, of course, they're really helping kids to learn things much faster. So I would say pros and cons. Yeah. I hope I answered your
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, you answered very well. Thank you so much for that. Like for future, like where do you wanna take success spectrum in the next year? You mentioned that you're like you want to reach 100 families for the next 2 or 3 years. Well, let's say for the
Mm.
short run, like for the year, what are you planning to?
So actually, when you ask me what success spectrum does, actually, other than coaching, another big part of me is I'm a speaker. So other than 200 families, I want to directly influence them. I
Yeah,
want to deliver my message to
great.
20,000 people. And so I have my message, I mainly talk about how to overcome challenge, and I use it in different situations like helping corporate, help. Now I'm trying to get into school, college, university, and I
Okay.
talk
That's
parents as
great. That's
well.
great actually if that could be implemented in those organizations, like it's gonna be
Yeah,
really helpful for the next generation out.
yeah. So I can see right now really everyone is kind of suffering.
Mhm.
Our students in universities is really worrying about if they can get a job. Now the job market is so unclear. That's the truth. AI is taking over a lot of positions. But to me, it also means there should be a lot more opportunities that maybe we didn't see right now. We couldn't
Right.
see right now. But anyway, I want to give them a framework that's lay the dragon framework so that they can overcome their challenge. They can think in different way. They can shift their mindsets to a different level. So yes, that's why I really want to deliver my message to more
Absolutely.
people. And I'm also getting into church as well. I'm speaking at a church this Sunday. So maybe I would speak in more churches as well. I put some, Bible story into it with my own story, and I have some Bible verses, the verse brought me to Jesus, all that kind of things. And I'm really passionate about it.
That's really inspiring. Like, thank you for sharing that. Like talking in future as well. Like you're saying that for the next year, you're managing to reach 20,000 families, like to influence them.
Mhm.
Like let's say from now till you reach that, and I know you're gonna do it. I'll be watching that myself. Like from now until then, how do you manage to do this? Like how do you plan actually for that? Like your steps ahead for this.
Good question. Frankly, I don't have a solid plan for
Okay.
that. I just keep doing what I'm doing. I have to be honest. At the most beginning, when I write a post on LinkedIn saying 20,000, at the most, at the most beginning, I said 2,000, but I already did 2,000 last year, so I should be able to
Okay.
do 2,000 again. I would say maybe 10,000, and but sometimes you just have to be bold. 20,000. But after I write down 20,000 on my post on LinkedIn, kind of my
Yeah.
resolution in 2026, uh, I've I thought, why not put 40,000? You know, sometimes it's not really you think if you can do it. Sometimes it's really like you believe you can do it. And then I don't want to say, too much religion that God will open the door or the universe will open the door. Maybe it's just you will open the door because when you think big, you can go bigger. That's simple. So for me, I did logically think if I can do it, but then I just like, just put it down and the door will open, the role will present by itself. And so, yeah, that's how I believe. So just
I
keep
think
doing, keep coaching, and I believe I will achieve it. For anyone, the most thing is really believe in yourself. You really have the potential to overcome your biggest challenge and achieve your goal. You can. You have to find out the why, the yearning, the yearning. What is this your yearning for victory? What is that? Why you want to overcome that challenge? Why you want to achieve that purpose? Why you want to slay your dragon? When you know that why, every step there's a meaning. Every
right.
step just one step forward, approaching your destination. So that's number one. For parents, I want you to really be the parents again. Stop doing those, stop controlling. Stop
Yeah.
controlling, or of course, also stop just, ignore everything. You
Yeah.
have to have you control the situation, you control the environment, you control the system, you control the process, but not the person. Remember that. And then you step back being a parent and, maybe I'm not sure this is a good thing to say, but just, hire a coach to help you to, I really have parents said that to me. Now we are outsourcing that part of parenting to me. So yeah, that's the mindset. You outsource that difficult part, the part you have to keep nagging your kid, the part you have to set rules, the part you have to set boundary. You outsource it to someone you trust, like
Yeah.
a coach like myself. And you be the parents again. Have fun, have love, tell them how much you love them every
Right.
single day. So that's the best thing you can do. And be the role model, of course. Don't just, if the things you don't want them to do, they don't do it.
Don't do
Yeah.
it. Don't do it. Right. I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for sharing all this, Mantin. It
Yeah.
was really insightful and going to be helpful for our audience out there.
Thank you.
For our audience out there, thank you for listening and see you in the next episode.